Hello, today I'm here with Tan, and
Hello.
we want to talk a little bit together about conceptual photography. Tan, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Tang. I'm a creative director and a film commercial director as well. Thank you for inviting me here.
Sure, very happy to have a chat with you.
Yeah.
And I understand you recently been involved in a lot of interesting photography projects. Can you introduce some of them?
Yeah, sure. So my work as a film director and a creative director, I create a lot of projects. Some of them involving in fashion and conceptual photography. So since last year until now, I work with Thảo Nhi. She's a fashionista and model, and together we make many different conceptual fashion photography, like this one, or this one, and this one. Yeah. So for example, we work on a project to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival in Vietnam.
I understand in all of these projects, you're not actually the photographer, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more about
Yeah.
how that works in the creative field? How do you collaborate with people?
The whole conceptual photo session will start with my ideas. After I have the concept, and I would work with different departments. Firstly, I would work with the photographer to explain my idea, how I want to do it, and then stylists or makeup artists or the model.
So that means even though you're not photographing it, you need to actually understand about photography, correct?
Yeah, sure. When I was in my undergraduate, I did some photography course in Australia. I also myself worked for a short time as a photographer. So when I work with a photographer, we speak the same language. I understand about lighting. I understand about how he used the camera, how we can apply different techniques in this kind of photograph. For example, in this photo that we did for the Mid-Autumn Festival, because of the lighting on the dress, it's very tiny. So we shot in like a low light condition, and I want to have like the long exposure so that we can see the movement of the light. And it creates beautiful stroke of light. And the photographer at the beginning, he didn't do that. So I tell him that maybe you can try with long exposure. And then he did it, and we create beautiful pictures.
So that means sometimes if you collaborate with someone else, like you can even like have your idea grow even bigger. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or
that's the nature of my work, or that how I want to work with other people. When I come on set, I don't have a rigid idea of what to do with things, but I also let the team to explore more with the concept that I have given them. For example, the photographer can be more creative with the lighting, with the angle. The makeup artist and the hair or the stylist can be also more creative in their field, so that the work, the collaboration of all the creative minds together. But I'm the one who have the whole visions of how things look like, and I would decide this is good for the concept, or this might not be suitable for this concept.
in general, I know many young photographers I met, sometimes they struggle to get inspirational ideas. They say, oh, I want to do something, but I'm not sure what. Like, so where do you get your inspiration from?
Being a creative director, you have to look for ideas everywhere. And my ideas comes from anything that I saw, anything that I feel, like a movie, a book, a trip to somewhere that normally inspire you to do something.
Okay.
We normally say that if you want to be creative, you have to be like a sponge. You absorb everything around you, and you make it become a part of you. And then when you need to come up with some idea, it runs through you, and it become like a new ideas from you.
Very interesting to hear. I actually feel the same. Like I always say, if you want to be a great photographer, you actually should be interested in many other things too. Like you should like read books, watch movies, listen to music, and then like all these other things that you absorb, you can then channel into your photography, right?
And I think you need to feel inspired by other people as well, like how they write a poem or they write a paragraph in the book. And if you think like, oh, if I turn this into a photo, then how I would do it, you know?
So in a way, that's very different from the type of photography that I usually do, for example, because I come from a background of like documentary or street photography or travel photography.
Exactly.
So I go out and then I see a situation there and then I have to photograph it.
Exactly.
But in your case, if you work with a team, you don't just go out there and photograph something or tell your photographer
Yes.
photograph something, but you plan everything, right?
Yes.
You plan for like the background, the set, the clothes, like if there's a model involved, right? So everything is planned ahead.
It's correct. I think we haven't talked about the definition of conceptual photography, right?
Yeah.
So I think for me,
It's a very broad term.
yeah,
actually.
it's very broad term. I mean, even for your work,
Yeah.
even it's like documentary photograph, you still can pack everything into one concept, right?
Yeah.
Like if you go out and taking photos of all the old apartments in
That
Saigon,
is true, yeah.
that can be a concept. So for me, a concept photography is to tell a story from a very single idea. Yeah.
I think that's really great to get like the point of view from a creative director. And I know you work with a lot of photographers and a lot of young photographers probably also want to work with you.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for any aspiring photographers out there? Like what should they do if they want to say go from like having basic understanding, if they want to do the next step in their career? What would you suggest them to do?
Young photographers should go out and try a lot of different things, you know, and they should have a strong portfolio, right? If you new and you want to get attention from creative director like me or someone who you want to work with, then first you should work on your portfolio, do different projects, work on your own ideas or working with someone that have an idea and show that to the world. I also scout a lot for new photographers. I look at on Facebook, on Behance, on Instagram. They have different techniques, different creativity in there. Then I would love to work with them.
Yeah.
So my advice to photographers is that you should do a lot of different things, show your creativity, and put it online. Send it to those who you want to work with. Yeah.
So build a body of work, present it nicely, right?
Yeah, exactly,
And like
exactly.
share it with the world.
Yeah, maybe sometimes it's not there yet, but people like us who has experience, we want something there that we can explore more.
Yeah.
And then I always love to work with young photographers because I think they are the next generation. They have a different curious eye to the world and they were very excited to work on new things. So yeah.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Tan, for sharing
Well,
this. I think that's like some very valuable insights.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for having me.
absolutely.